All right, happy Tuesday. This is Cop Talk Live, Changing Cop Culture. I'm Dominic Izzo. I'm a former police officer up here in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, and this is our channel, wherever you're watching. This is a Spreely TV production of Cop Talk Live. What we're doing is we're trying to change cop culture. We're trying to raise the standards, improve law enforcement to serve the community better. And if you've never seen my content before, enjoy. I don't take the middle of the road. I don't play both sides. I'm extremely hard on law enforcement, demanding a higher standard and thinking that these men and women are the single greatest human beings on the planet. Therefore, they should have the highest amount of pressure put on them. You know, they need that fire that's going to forge that strongest of steel, that pressure that's going to make that cold diamonds, all that stuff. But we live in a world where it's not practical. A big thanks to Spreely TV for sponsoring this. Go to Spreely.com. Let me pull this up for those of you who are wondering, what is this Spreely you're talking about? Spreely.com. A lot of you are so tired of getting censored on social media. You know, you're looking for a place to go to stuff, get your media, get your news, get your shows, all that kind of stuff. Spreely.com is where you go. From all the way from live TV shows, you can follow us Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central. There's a bunch of shows that we have on there. Wayne Dupree, I think, what's his name is back? I can't remember where he's at. The Burn Pit Podcast, Evening Rants. Alonzo is on here. Pete Santilli is back as well, too. We also have videos, like your news clips and whatnot. If you're looking for, social media clips that you're not going to find on YouTube and all that stuff. And then if you go to Spreely, there's even a social media. Like you're tired of getting censored. It's kind of like a Facebook. And it's just set up. It's like set up like Facebook. Go ahead and connect with. There's give the to-do list, your mom. It's been checked off. So when you guys are looking to wind up doing something, so Spreely.com, some love. They do sponsor this as well, too, so we appreciate them. All right, here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about, I got to do the chat real quickly. It's good to see Sarah, CJ, LaChapelle. How are you? It's good to see you. And I will be checking in on those who are watching live as time goes on. I appreciate all of you. Obviously, if you watch my content, you see that I call out policing. And I did a podcast with Ted from Fit Responder. And I think that's going to be released this week. I'm not sure as well. But the video I did was on an officer that was allegedly or supposedly saving a suspect in the back of his squad car from hanging himself by dropping elbows on his face, right? And it's just is what it is. And my opinion of the video got Ted, who's a former law enforcement of 11 years, it got him upset. And he invited me on a podcast. And I did the podcast with him yesterday. And he gave me carte blanche to express my views. And it comes down to standards. My views are that every cop is a bad cop. And I explained it in an hour-long detail on, what are you saying? All cops are bad cops. That means you were bad. It's like original sin, right? The Catholics believe you're born on this earth with original sin, then you spend your life trying to get closer to Christ, and that's how your salvation is done, by accepting him. Same damn concept. You're going into a cesspool of a profession, and it's your daily job to improve yourself, just like fitness. Ted is a fitness professional. And I asked, he's never going to be satisfied with his fitness status, so it's a never-ending hunt to improve your status in law enforcement. Always work on your knowledge, your education, knowledge of the Constitution, tactics, fitness, all this stuff. So when people go, well, that means you were a bad cop. Of course I was. Of course I was. If I had a toe dipped into the pool of that industry and that industry's got just sludge and shit and grime, I am by default a part of the problem. So I talked about that again when that podcast is released. I'll put it out there. I do believe, I'm of the mind, and I express this as well too, because he said that he fears that the way I deliver, my message just is not well received by people. I don't care. I could have had a very easy, fun life and been befriended by the fellow brothers and sisters in blue instead of hated and blocked and called a traitor and a fucking blue falcon and somebody who's just angry and bitter. I could have if I had just kissed the boots like you guys do, but whether or not you understand it. I love the profession this much that I'm willing to take the hits to have a conversation that's going. I don't think I have all the answers, but sure as shit, if I can get a group of people who are like, fuck this Izzo guy, I can't stand him, he thinks we're all scum, and then in that process, you go to prove me wrong, I don't care what your opinion of me is. I don't. I've done my part to solve the problem. That's what I care about. And don't get me wrong, the people are just as bad. The citizens are bad. Look at Ferguson. You got these shitbag, dumb, idiot protesters in Ferguson 10 years later trying to destroy a police station, trying to rip down a fence. These morons are the part of the problem. The citizens of which the police come from are the problem. Sadly, it's the police's job to stand above them and be the bigger human beings. That's what they chose when they swore that oath, and every single day when they put that uniform on. The people are always going to be the problem. Don't be the part of the problem as well, too. Be part of the solution. So when that comes out, I will wind up promoting that episode and giving them a big plug. Stephen Isles, good to see you. Kelly Wilson, how are you? Bruce Willis, what's going on? Jamal Chambers, how are you? It's good to see you guys over in the chat. Hang on, I can plug. Let me see. Ted. Okay, let's see. They're going to be working on the video. Here's where I want to plug. You guys can go. Let's pull him up. All right, I'm going to pull up Fit Responder Training. Fit Responder Training. And just so you could see, go ahead and check out and subscribe to Official Fit Responder. This is where the video will be, the podcast will be. Let's get his numbers up. He's at 646 subscribers. And I think he's a class act. He did hear me out. He gave me as much time to explain my position. And I told him before the podcast, I go, dude, ask me the hard questions. Either you need to expose me as a fraud, hold my feet to the fire, or make me prove that I know what I'm talking about. So it was a great conversation, and we had it there as well too. Let me see, is there anybody else to say? Guys, we do have a chat. I will be getting there. All right, don't forget, we're live Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Do the math or do a Google search for the time it's by you. Let's see, you see something else? All right, so anyways, I'm going to talk about this tonight, which is an unpopular opinion, and we talked about it on Ted's podcast as well too. I don't think females should be cops. I just don't. And the problem I have with law enforcement specifically, actually with America, is I don't know where we got into this teach to the weakest link, right? Whenever I went to classes to learn how to teach, I went to an instructor development class for Niemert in Illinois to learn how to teach cops, and it was teach to the weakest link. Okay. We look at sports now, teach to the weakest link. I can't imagine. I'm a big fan of the Olympics, even though I didn't watch it this year. Clearly, I'm a fan of wrestling. I still coach wrestling, and I just got back into coaching, so it's very difficult for me to understand where can I go with these wrestlers. And I've had conversations with parents before I coach, like, listen, are you fine if during practice I have to discipline your child? No, they need it. They need it. Oh, please do. It's like, okay, great. I don't know where we're at. Used to be years ago, shit, dude, you were pressured like crazy. I can't imagine what it would have been like to be an Olympic wrestler. What would that level, that discipline, the requirement on my end have taken to get to a spot that thousands, hundreds of thousands want, and in the single digits every year get, right? I don't know, but I know that you can't get to that level unless you are at the level of training, discipline, standard elevation, and you don't get. Why do we not apply that to law enforcement? So ultimately speaking, that's always going to be my argument as far as law enforcement. Well, we got to humanize the badge. All this. No, dude, we got to raise the standards. Going back to it, and I think I was going to say this, but I didn't. If you raise your standards as a cop, what's going to happen is all your PC, if it's righteous lawfully, your stop, your report writing, your use of force, everything is you did it to the highest standards possible every single time. Your integrity is not going to be questioned because your department's going to look and go, this guy did what? No, 9 out of 9 times, he's always professional. If this is that 1 out of 10 times where he's not, we need to look into this, and they're going to give you the benefit of the doubt and do the investigation better. So, to make sure that you didn't do anything willfully or unlawfully, willfully violate somebody's somebody's civil rights. And if you do everything righteously, if you do everything lawfully, if you do everything to the highest standard possible, when the public comes to attack you, it is easier for everyone to rally around you and defend you. So that's my point. Raise your fucking standards if you're a cop, man. Females, let's talk about this for a second. This is an incident that happened in New York where I truly believe makes the case even more why females shouldn't be cops, and I'll talk about this. A repeat offender on probation viciously clobbered a rookie NYPD officer, knocking her down onto a Bronx sidewalk before the other cop pounced on him in a wild caught-on-camera arrest on Thursday evening. Ernest Delma, 41, slugged the female officer in the face when she tried to break up an argument between him and a group of kids on Classen Point Street corner. Authorities and law enforcement sources said. Footage captured by a bystander shows the hectic moments after Delma allegedly punched the officer to the ground about 7:10 p.m. on the corner of Rosedale and Randall Avenues. Blood streamed from the officer's face as a bystander helped her up, while the partner rushed the suspect as the video shows. His pants and underwear embarrassingly fell down as he tried to resist the cop, who ultimately handcuffed him, leaving him naked, his naked behind exposed as spectators looked onto the wild scene. Injured officer sustained a cut to her lip and was taken to the hospital in stable condition, police said. A criminal complaint for Delma identified his alleged victim as Mary Faye, a rookie cop with just 8 months on the job. She has only made 5 arrests, according to public records. Delma's felony charges were not among them. As he was walked out of a Bronx precinct hours after his arrest, Delma sported a stitched-up, swollen eye and tried to show remorse for his actions. I didn't mean to punch her. I'm really sorry for doing it. I know I was intoxicated. I got assaulted by a couple officers in my face, he said, but nothing much, not too bad. I want to play the video, and there's a difference where I will never expect the public ever to benefit the cops with their support. All right, I want to preface that for a second. What I mean by that is the public is bloodthirsty. They're the mob. You have to look at an area like Chicago, where the state's attorney does not prosecute. This recidivism rate is insane. I think I commented on this the other day. There's a woman from Lake County who was arrested in Zion, Illinois, Lake County, on like her 7th DUI. 6 of them, well, maybe it was a guy or girl, whatever. 6 of them were in Wisconsin, and it doesn't surprise me. I arrested 40 phenomenal, righteous DUIs in 2015 in a 9-month period. One of the guys was a 6-time offender, and the state tried to talk me out of it. Out of all 40 of those DUIs, I never once went to court, never once got a subpoena, never once had to testify. Now, I always thought that's because my report writing ability is so fantastic. It links up to the body camera footage. They can't. There's no way in hell they can argue it. You got the evidence, the BAC level or the blood draw, whatever it is, blah, blah, blah. Boom. Well, I found out that a majority of the cases were pled down to reckless driving because it's a cash cow. You get somebody, and I don't know about you, how old you guys are. I'm 49. Before becoming a cop, I was a bartender in a 4 a.m. bar. And you'd see people, back when I was 22, 23, you'd see people disappear for 6 months and then coming back in like, dude, where the hell have you been? And they're like, I got a DUI. And they were embarrassed to say it. Now, you listen to people talk, when I got my 3rd DUI, it's no longer standards, right? As a human being, how many people don't give a shit about the fact that they look like scumbags being arrested? I honestly think DUI should be punishable by capital punishment. I think if you're a drunk and you even injure a family in a car accident, you deserve the death penalty. Anybody who has ever drove drunk, drove intoxicated, there is no value of you as a human being. None. You have no redeeming qualities. It's too impossible not to get a ride home today. It's just not. But what happens is, so let's put it this way. If that's my feeling and the state doesn't prosecute, now I'm a citizen, I see all this shit, right? And I see a cop on a video pull somebody over for DUI, and that's my frustration. My level of frustration with the DUIs is I think it should be death penalty, and I watch a cop just tune this guy up. I'm going to be like, yeah, fuck that guy up. He deserved it. That's the public. That's the public. The system doesn't work, so we think that the cop needs to be the one that's administering the punishment on the street. It's not. It is so not, and that's one of the biggest problems we have with the public supporting law enforcement. You guys can't do it. You can't lick those boots so hard you want to see them be brutal to people. You can't. In this video, first I want to play it. Let's take a look at it together and go from there. You have sound? I don't know if we have sound on this. So if we don't have sound, I know in other videos we did, people were laughing. You see a bunch of handcuffing and whatnot. CJ LaChapelle, thank you. I appreciate that. So it does, it kind of, it makes the oohs and the ahs and all that. I want to play this again. So number one, if this guy's intoxicated, let's look at this for a second. Does that call for a strike in the face? Let's look at the use of force. I don't think so. I mean, can you articulate? I would, if I'm going to hit in the leg, I'm going to hit in the side, I'm going to hit in the arm. I'm not going to hit in the face. That's just me. Now, keep in mind, too, for all of you wondering, yeah, I'm a defensive tactics expert. I am I'm an expert in combat, hand-to-hand combat. I just am. I've been training for fucking years, wrestling, martial arts, defensive tactics. I know what I'm certified. I know what I'm talking about, and I will challenge anybody to that. So when it comes to this, I don't agree with a strike to the face, but it doesn't mean it's an unlawful use of force on there. Once again, you can articulate, subject was resisting me. He had already struck an officer, therefore I believe he may have struck, could strike me. I struck him in the face to change his demeanor, to get his hands behind his back. The problem, and their training sucks. They don't have tactics. You know, you can't break a guy's base down from here. This guy's a skinny little guy. He's drunk, all this shit. Hitting him again in the face. This guy, again, it would have been easy for me to take him in cuffs. I wrestled. It's very simple. I have a good ground game. The problem I have is this. Well, let's get a good picture of it. This is why females shouldn't be cops. Now, I know what you're going to automatically jump to is she couldn't defend herself. That's part of it. That's part of it. The problem I have is, did the emotional big brother side of the male cop take over and he went to defend her? As men, we have this ingrained DNA, hardwired masculine need to protect females and children. We do. So when you know you got a female working with you and she takes a beating, do you think that her taking a hit caused this cop to sit there and have Big Brother kick in and do things that may have been considered a little excessive? I 100% do. 100% do. And this is another thing too. If you can't when you have no tactics to fall back on, you use your basic instincts, and that's where punching comes in, because they have no ground game. They don't know how to do any control tactics. 2 shots that we saw on camera to the face, de-pantsing him, cranking on the arm. Okay. And that's shit control. Did they act this way a little bit rougher because their sister in blue got tuned up to where all of a sudden she's not functioning, dude? Look at her. She's knocked the fuck out. Now, can you imagine what happens if they were dating? What happens if he had a crush on her? What happens if he was a little attracted to her? What happens if she was flirting? What happens if she was one of the 5 on the department she was fucking, like that other cop from that one department? Can you imagine what that cop would have done in retaliation for that use of force? Women are a liability to the community. They're a danger to the community. So number one, this is her fault. And I'll explain why with the human psychology of the shitbag criminal mind. He saw an easy target. You only attack easy targets. If that cop was a male who was 6 foot, why did he hit her, not the other guy? Because he knows he can't get away with it. But shitbag criminal, she's going to come up. She's the weakest link. She's the easiest target. Boom. You know, I'm going to have you tasting some pennies here for a second. Get knocked out. So she caused that by her presence because she's a victim. Same thing like schools and soft targets. And shooters go there because they know no guns are allowed on the property, right? And then the cop is out of control. I don't agree with his use of force. I just don't. If you look at it again, I just don't agree with his use of force. You should have sat there, gone for elbow or wrist control. Put your knee right in the back of his head. Go ahead, do a George Floyd. Get him. He's breaking on base. Boom, gut wrench the shit out of him. I don't give a shit. Break him down. He's not he attacked, but he's not attacking to get 2 strikes to the face. Whatever. These cops are emotionally frustrated because she got the shit beat out of her, so they take their aggravation out on the bad guy. She's a danger to the community. Community's not safe because of the shit trickle down the hill. That's all that is. It's the same reason why women are not allowed on the battlefield, right? You get 5 soldiers. One of them's a female. If the guys take a couple rounds, you know, how much care are they going to give their brethren versus what happens if she took a couple rounds? The male need to nurture, protect, provide, whatever it is towards the female in a military combat zone. You have similarities, but that's, to my knowledge, that's why they don't allow women out there. I don't know how things are. I'm not in the military. No military training, nothing whatsoever. But that's a liability. So when you look at this, the female need, it's a damsel in distress thing. Holy shit, it's not possible. It's not possible. 8 months working together, I have to assume if they're walking, summertime, they're partnered up, you're going to get intimate. And that's conversation. I'm not talking sexually intimate. I'm talking bonding, intimate. And when it's a guy friend of yours, yeah, you're going to fuck somebody up. But when it's a female friend of yours, that innate need, the compulsion to protect and to punish back big brother for your sister in blue, it's overwhelming. And that's what this was. Female cops are a danger to the community because of what they bring out into potential criminals, what they're not able to do. What if these cops are busy with some kind of crowd control and she's all by herself and this guy doesn't want to let up? Dude, now she's getting her head stomped on the ground by some drunk who's out of control with 7 felonies or how many felonies he had. You can't take care of yourself. You don't belong on the street. In the grand scheme of things, I'm tired of hearing that, oh yeah, but I know a few female cops who are good. The majority cannot take a single male into custody. And I used to say it all the time, go to female defensive tactics classes. Which one of you could take, how many of you could take me into custody by yourself? Wrong answer. Every single one of you should have the mindset, there's not a fucking chance in hell that you're getting out of my custody. And they don't have that mindset. They just don't. They'd rather get the badge, become Instagram bikini models, show off their fucking 10% off discount code for whatever supplement company they're a part of, and play fucking cop. And have that authority of, I could do what I want, because then you get the female fucking attitude in it. And if you're going to say, I know a few female cops who could do the job. No, A, you don't. B, it has to be a standard set somewhere. The way that shit has been going lately doesn't work. It doesn't. And I brought this up to Ted in the podcast. If it's 2025 in the rest of August, September, October, November, December, we are 4.5 months away from 2025. 4.5 months away from 2025, and people are still using the excuse, well, cops just don't have the training they need. Are you out of your fucking mind? We've been saying that for the last 20 to 30 years. 2025 is around the corner, and you still have a never-ending supply of cops who they violate First Amendment on traffic stops, and they don't know it. Well, we have to change. Shit has to change. The defund the police movement was stupid because you took away money that was going to send them to a fucking report writing class, or it was going to send them to a handcuffing class. It doesn't defund the police the way that you think it does. It just takes away from their ability to go to specialty positions and shit. That's all it is. It's not defunding it. You're not closing down law enforcement, and you still have a flood of shitty applicants coming in. If my generation was the generation that operated in negative reinforcement, which I do. If I'm going to go lose weight and you say, you could do it, I believe in you, you're a great guy, you could do all this stuff, I'm going to be like, fuck you. But if you go, dude, you're a fat piece of shit who's never going to see his dick again, fuck you, loser, I'm going to be like, oh, fuck you, dude. This generation can't handle that. When I went to FTO school to learn to do field training, the first thing the instructor told the entire class was, get out of your vocabulary because I said so. Can't say that. So you got to think about it. He went so far as to say, listen, if you get in a gunfight and you're trying to get your rookie out of the passenger side of the car and you say, because I said so, it doesn't fucking fly. So you have to have an explanation. So think about that for a second. You're now in a generation of whatever we've seen all online. They're entitled. They don't want to work. They're owed an explanation. Now you mix this shit with a bunch of people who we don't know why they're going into law enforcement. Do they want to make that proverbial difference? Do they want to make that change? Do they want to better themselves? Or do they want to be Instagram and TikTok models? Is that what they want? Fucking ridiculous. So if that's the case, holy shit, this is the new generation of law enforcement. They're a fucking joke. So you have to start with the standard. And you have to say, because Ted challenged me on it, you don't think any female cop? No, dude, you have to blanket the statement until the problem is corrected. Because the issue that he brought up was, we talked about, well, we have channels for disciplinary action. We have channels for retraining, avenues for proper hiring. They're not used. They're not used. Unless a cop is caught on camera doing something very offensive, and not all police departments even run body cameras, they're allowed to resign from a department and go somewhere else. They are. It's an epidemic because there's a shortage of cops. There's a fucking shortage. So it blows me away. Ultimately speaking, this is the point for this. Female cops are a liability and a danger for the community because of the culture they're coming from now. You can't take them seriously. And their ability, they're females, biologically weaker. And then what they do for both the bad guys who think they can get away with shit, and then the amount of resources you need to protect her. Maybe instead of one backup squad, you need 3 or 4. Or because they know, hey, it's Susie Jane on a traffic stop, you're going to get 5 or 6 squads there. And what about the rest of the town? So they're a liability. They're a fucking liability. And the few, I've talked about them before. There's 3 female cops I can name off the top of my head that were great. They did the job, but I stand by saying they shouldn't be cops. They shouldn't. Because I have to take that hard stance and standard, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Charles Bronson tasted some pennies. That's right, dude. That's what happens when, what do you have? When you get the blood taste. People know what that is. WC Philander, WCF Invader. Dang, you're late. How much is the fee? $25. Go ahead, hit that super like. Michelle Lionberger, awesome name, dude, says, that's what my dad always says when questioned his instructions because I said so. Dude, 100%. Charles Bronson, do as I say, not as I do mentality. How many of us grew up with that and it worked? My mother passed away. It'll be 2 years in February. I did not have a good relationship with her. She was very hard, very non-loving. She was a fucking cunt. And she was a good person to when she wanted to be a good person, but she was extremely hard. Thank God. Dude, my sisters and I turned out pretty badass because we went a different direction. Right? I didn't identify this until later on. I function off of negative reinforcement. I do not function off of praise because I think there's something wrong if you're praising me. I think it's condescending. I think it's suspect. I think that you're actually trying to manipulate me somehow. When you negative reinforce me, you become an enemy, and I want to destroy what you're doing. So it could be, I'm sure it's not mentally healthy, but a lot of people were raised that way. My generation was. It is what it is. Stephen Isles Says, in a courthouse, I once heard a fella say that it was his third DUI. And another person said, no way. It went something like, well, I had 4 different DUIs and third, second, and now I'm on my third. Oh, jeez, dude. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, Dark Renaissance. The guy isn't doing anything, not resisting. That's what it's bringing out in there. So, again, don't forget that we are live Monday through Friday. We're live. I'm live Monday through Friday on Spreely.com and the rantsofizzo.com for the Rants of Izzo show, which is a stream of consciousness show. We talk about everything from porn to politics. I have guests that join me Monday through Friday, ranging from all the way from the Burn Pit Podcast boys, who are awesome. Kayla from Flex Your Feminine joins me on Fridays. One of my favorite human beings on the planet is a trans female adult star. She joins me on Thursdays, every other Thursday. We talk about everything for the political and from porn to politics as well as that too. So join us Monday through Friday on Spreely.com, 1 p.m. Eastern. I want to thank you guys. I wanted to do this where I do the content you send me. And I want to thank, where's this at? I gotta get my other email. I have an Officer Dominic Izzo email, and Sean Murphy, you glorious motherfucker, Jamal Chambers, Jared, CJ LaChapelle, you guys are so awesome sending me content to review, and I've got enough to last several shows. So randomly, I'm just gonna go down the list. I want to cover what you guys send me, and I have never looked at this before. So anytime you guys send me stuff, I'm going to be doing it live with you, and we'll go over the content on there as well. All right, this is from Sean Murphy. Man, this stuff just pours out of social media. All right, let's take a look at what you sent.
Is that a firearm that's on your hip right now?
If you want to inspect it, come on up. I don't consent to any seizures. You can look at it and tell what it is.
Sam 34, 1 detained.
Why am I being detained? I'm not going to hurt anybody. I have expensive equipment. I have it for self-defense. Can I have it back?
What is that there, a taser there? Taser pulse? Can we get your name?
I don't want to give any information.
Nothing at all?
No longer being detained, right?
No, you still are.
I'm still, wait. He says no. He says yes.
I'm going to explain this to you. I have a feeling that this is being done for your entertainment. That's what it seems like to me.
Well, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one.
Right, exactly. It's a violation of California Vehicle Code to carry a weapon in public.
Carry a firearm
Correct.
in public. Can I get your name and employee number or ID number?
My name is right here.
Is that what you tell the judge when he asks you in court?
You're not a judge, and this isn't a court, and it doesn't entitle you to delay everybody's process.
I'm just asking you what your name is.
Yeah. I have no opinion about that. I get the fact that you have these First Amendment auditors that are baiting, like Chili and all that shit. Sean, I'll go through these. I'm gonna delete these. I'll go through a couple of them today. I get it, but at the same time too, you're putting yourself in that position. As long as the cop's not breaking the law or violating your constitutional right, great. I don't that part where he goes, I have a feeling you're doing this for your entertainment. I'll say your fucking problem. Doesn't matter. I don't care, but it is what it is. All right, Sean, let's look at this one. It's from Sean Murphy. I'm not taking a plea deal. I'm taking this to court.
All right, so you have 4 tint tickets.
Right.
3 of them I'm going to...
This is from Long Island Audit, who we follow each other on Instagram. I've never done any work with him, and we haven't had any communication yet.
Dismiss, and the other one, I'm going to drop the fine for you to 105.
I appreciate that,
Is that
ma'am.
acceptable for you?
I appreciate that, ma'am. It's more than just the money for me. It's about the principle. This officer gave me these tickets in retaliation for we had a previous interaction before he pulled me over that he didn't like, where I was recording him, and he didn't like it, so he pulled me over for the tints. My tints are legal. The back 2 windows can be any darkness. So I would just like to consult an attorney if I can get a date, so I can consult an attorney
That's
about
fine.
moving forward.
That's fine. We can
Sure.
adjourn it for you to get into that.
That's fine. Yeah.
That's fine. So just have a seat.
I appreciate you. Negotiating the plea for me, but it's a principle thing, not a money thing. Thank you, ma'am.
That's totally
Thank you,
fine.
ma'am. Appreciate
So
it.
just have a seat.
Yep.
And we'll get that.
Yeah, his interactions are good. I like that. I haven't seen some of his stuff. I believe I had said that some of his stuff looked like he was instigating, and it could have been triggering, is what it is. But I have no problem with how he interacts with people. I really don't. Another one from Sean Murphy. A lot of these are from Sean Murphy. Have a seat. We'll go through a couple of these. I'll do this, Sean. I appreciate you sending these, Sean.
I'm not going to sit down.
I'm about to force you to sit down, sir.
Am I detained?
Yes, you are indeed.
What am I detained for?
Trying to break into the office.
I didn't break into the office.
That's what the rule is.
It's on
so have a seat
camera.
right now, sir.
I have a bad back and arms. I'll stand here peacefully. I won't resist. I can't sit down, though.
That down so I can record, but I don't want it in your hands.
I'm not going to sit it down. And you don't have a right to search me either.
No, I'm going to take that away from you in a minute. I need your ID, please.
I'm not giving you ID. No crime, no ID.
Are we innocent until proven guilty, or are we guilty until proven innocent? Right now, that's debatable on your piece. It's not debatable, sir.
One of the problems I have with these is if you're confident enough in your job, just fucking do it. I mean, if you have the probable cause or reasonable suspicion, stop telling them that you're going to do this and just do it. Take the phone out of his hands, secure it in your person. You have to be able to lawfully articulate why, right? And I've said it before too, and a lot of you guys love to argue with me. You've seen the cell phones that are actually 22 caliber pistols or knives and this and that shit. And I don't care. Well, nobody would buy that. Why the fuck is it for sale then, dude? Whatever the case is. And I'm going to tell you flat out, if that's an officer safety, now you have to look at the fact, well, now you're advocating officer safety as it trumps over people's constitutional rights. No, I'm not saying that either. I'm saying, can you articulate it? Can you? I don't know. I don't know. But if you're that confident, sit him down. Ask, tell, make. I need you to sit down. No, sit down. Boom, sit him the fuck down. And then why? Officer, why did you have him sit down? What was the point? It was a secure tactic to prevent him from fleeing the scene. You know, sit down with your legs folded. You know, sit down, whatever it is. I don't know. Why were you afraid he was going to leave the scene? Well, you got to be able to say, this is a suspect that I have that's it's suspected in breaking into whatever. Well, then why didn't you secure him in handcuffs, put him in the back of your squad car? So if you're going to go, hey, I need you to sit down, that's a seizure. If you're seizing him, just handcuff him. Put him in the back of your squad. You got him safe then. So if you're so confident in your ability to do your job, just do it. If not, and you're gonna do the verbal back and forth like crazy, the volleyball, then you've lost and you don't know what you're doing. And even worse, what you're doing is probably illegal.
I'd like your supervisor. Are you going to request it or are you refusing?
No, I'm not going to request a sergeant. I don't have to request a sergeant.
The California Penal Code 148G by making me put my camera down.
Because it's a weapon.
And like I said, I have no weapons on me, not even a pocket knife.
Okay.
But once again, why am I illegally being detained? And the clock's ticking.
Being detained because we're responding to a call for service where you're trying to break.
Call for service does not mean you have to have what's called RAS, reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime being committed, about to be.
Yeah, there you go. Shut the fuck up. Maybe the cop should listen. The cop doesn't need to. If he's just don't fucking talk to them. If you're in the right. I don't know what this guy's wearing. You get Jane Doe calls up 911. A man, 5'10", white, black facial hair, holding a cell phone, is trying to shake his way into a door that's closed, and he just, I don't know, punched the glass and he's trying to get in. He's wearing a black t-shirt, blue jeans, and white sneakers. If you show up, the person matches the description of what the caller is, they're acting on good faith what the caller said. And you know what? That's the dispatcher's job to get the caller's information. Right? If not, if you're like this, well, we heard you were that's thin, man. That's some thin shit. That's like seersucker suit thin shit in the hot Cajun summer of the South. Fucking dumb, man. I don't know where I went with that analogy.
Be committed or committed.
Exactly.
I need the incident number.
Call dispatch and get it. Don't be a dick either, dude. Be professional. That's the fucking problem with some of you clowns. You're not professional. These people are professional agitators, professional instigators. You know what? Yeah, here it is. You want to bridge the gap. It's your job. The onus is on you to be more professional. I don't care how pissed off they get you. First Amendment auditors, their job is to ruffle your feathers and get you to get off kilt. Holy shit. Don't do it. Don't fall in it. Mature. Grow the fuck up and deal with. Got an asshole here today. Okay, but I'm going to be professional with him. All right, let's do two more here. This is Sean Murphy. If you guys have any videos whatsoever you do want to send, you can send them over to officerdominicismo@gmail.com, and let's take a look. Fake 911. This is from Dark Times with Nico and Cy. Fake 911. Okay, holy shit. Do we have video on this? Let's see. Oh, where is it? Is it Plainfield, Indiana, it's not Illinois. Dark Times with Nico and Sai. I'm not going to read through this whole thing. I'll get back to it at a different time, though, Sean, but thank you. I'll put this one for back in the pile. Bad police behavior. Let's take a look at this.
Can you put that down for me, please?
What's the phone?
Yes, put it down.
I'd rather not. I like to have it recorded.
Mr. Gray,
Yes, sir.
can you please put it down?
I'm not touching it. I got it right there.
Yes, I know, and I know what that phone does. Please put it down so it's not recording me, please.
Why? Well, again, this is my argument. 2025 is in a matter of weeks, right? Matter of weeks. And you still have cops who, now this could be a cop who's done this and people are stupid because he's asking. He's not telling. He's asking. And if the person complies, officer fucking wins. Officer wins. If you run into this as the person who's filming, shut the fuck up. I need you to turn that off. No. I need you to turn it off. You need to turn it off. Don't fucking say a word. Refuse to comply. There's no lawful reason for you to comply, especially if he's going, please, please, please. He's asking. He's not telling you. But how dumb? How dumb are these cops where it's still 2025 in a matter of weeks and they still don't know this? Or maybe they do. I don't know.
I know what it does too.
Oh shit. Okay, let me give him a plug here. Never, ever, ever have I met Officer Detective Matt Thornton. Never have. He works in Zion, Illinois. I worked in Round Lake Park. They're very close to each other. I don't know how long he's been on, but we overlapped in our years of service. We've never met at all. I will say this. This man is the example of what a cop needs to be. He's the example. I think that he needs to stay in law enforcement. This man needs to rise the ranks. He needs to be appointed a chief. He needs to sit there and one day run for sheriff. And then I think that he needs to get into our government even more. Not if you know anything about the area he works at, Zion, Round Lake Park, Fox Lake, even Grays Lake, Waukegan, Mundelein, North Chicago. They're shitty areas. We get all the element that Chicago and Milwaukee chases out. This man can take care of himself. This man, when needs be, can throw the fuck down with the best of them and get the job done. There's no question. His temperament and his vision for law enforcement is exactly what it needs to be. This is a man who I would work for in a heartbeat. Absolutely work for in a heartbeat. This is the quality. And I'll kiss his ass all day long. There's no question. I wish I had met him. I still should. I should go up and just drop in when he's on duty and have coffee with him. But still, this man is the standard. Him, guys like Officer Tommy Norman, Dion. Oh shit! I'm gonna get this the right way. I gotta get this. Hang on. Excuse me. I'll go right to my Facebook. The three that I think are Matt, Dion. What? Where the heck is his name? Oh, he's not in here. He's in my friends list. I gotta find him. I gotta find this cop. Damn it. It's got his name has got to be Dion. Why can't I find? He's a black cop who is very famous for working Skid Row. Let me do this. I'll finish up with what Officer Thornton has to say.
It shows America who the tyrants are. It exposes bad cops who go running behind unions and qualified immunity, which needs to be torn down, by the way. God bless the homeless vets and the auditors. They started a revolution for change.
Officer Matt Thornton is a class fucking act, and if you are not following him and you want to see what the example of law enforcement is, cop. This gentleman right here. I thought his name was fucking Dion. Yes, it is. Oh, D-E-O-N. Dion Joseph. Duh. This man, I cannot speak highly enough of the human being he is as a police officer as well either. This man, his integrity is unmatched. His compassion is unmatched. I think the three examples that I can think of off the top of my head, not purposely excluding anybody, are this man here, Dion Joseph, who worked out of Skid Row for 20 plus years, Officer Tommy Norman, and Officer Matt Thornton. So those are the three that I think are on an incredible level of law enforcement. Guys, that's what I want to cover tonight. Appreciate you joining. Don't forget, we got the channel here. When you look at my long form content, shorts, anything, if you want to send me content to review, go ahead. Send it to officerdominicisO@gmail.com. Let me look at the comments real fast. Yeah, it is Dion. Thank you, Dave, for spelling it the right way. Black Gale, hello. What's going on? Officer safety. I think you saw it. Thomas Langford, what's Spreely? Speak freely. Speak freely, baby. Spreely.com. Remember, guys, it's just about raising your standards. It's about holding law enforcement to the highest level possible because it is the greatest profession in the world. And it's not like Starbucks. It's not like being a brain surgeon or a lawyer or a doctor or anything else. You're talking about people who you fuck up and you deal with somebody's life for freedom, and it's a real bad day. And it happens more frequently. You're gonna interact with the police far more frequently than you're gonna interact with a brain surgeon. You're gonna interact with the police more than you'll interact with a lawyer. You're gonna interact with the police maybe on par as much as you go to Starbucks, but if they fuck up your order at Starbucks, the manager's gonna replace it at no cost, right? Or you burn your lip, whatever it's that. You're not gonna get your face pummeled into the pavement by a cop because they had a bad day with their girlfriend or kids or their bosses, and you failure to signal turning left, and all of a sudden, because you didn't present your driver's license fast enough, they're pulling you out of the car for officer safety. Pennsylvania versus Mims says, I can't. I have every lawful authority. Get out of the fucking car. Next thing you know, you're in handcuffs for resisting a peace officer. Higher standards. Higher fucking standards. End of story. Guys, have a great damn night. Be safe. I'll see you Thursday. And, be safe.